Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Truly Your VA podcast with Janis. You know, as cold as it is outside, sometimes the reality of where we are in our businesses, especially with women, we need someone who can kind of help us guide us to get clear about our limiting beliefs. But first of all, I want to welcome to the Truly Your VA podcast family, my amazing guest for today, Takia Hansley. Welcome, Takia. I'm so excited to have you on today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today.
And she just had, oh, you are so welcome. And she just has the brightest smile. And, you know, I think when we initially met, and I want to say it was about 3 or 4 months ago now, it's been that long. But what really impressed me about your presence is you really love, you embrace what you do wholeheartedly. And I'm sure that your clients and everyone sees that as well. Can you tell us, I know that you coach female entrepreneur service providers get clear on their limiting beliefs. What is that like for your clients? Like, what, in your opinion, are some of the limiting beliefs that tend to pop up?
So usually it's what I can't do, right? So you'll have this amazing idea, and when you first have the idea, it's like, oh, I can do this and I can do this, and it's going to be amazing. But when it comes time to actually start bringing that idea into real life, oh, I can't do that. I don't have the money to do that. I don't have time to do it. My life is just in shambles right now. Maybe like I can't, it's not for me to do. Like that was just a good idea. Somebody else can do it. Maybe I'll tell other people, I'll tell somebody else to do it. Or, just not believing that, no, you got that idea because that idea was for you to take action on. And like, yeah, that's that's really what it is. If God gave you an idea, that idea was for you. But because he knows you, he's not just going to give it to you. He's going to give it to somebody else and somebody else and somebody else, because you're not the only one with those limiting beliefs. And it's the person that decides that, you know what, I can get past this. I'm going to actually do it. That's who's going to actually do it and reap the reward.
You know, I think what's key in there too is, you know, once you get to that idea, and I know for myself, because I've tried different things, and I'm in, of course, a really good place now and feel, you know, very confident in my abilities to do what I'm doing. But for me, and maybe for other female entrepreneurs, it's the implementation part. I think that there's a lot of fear associated around that. I mean, you know, going from you know, I'm still technically a VA, and I, you know, work with, of course, some amazing entrepreneurs, but it's shifted in a way to where I'm more of a podcast and booking manager.
Yeah.
So, and I feel very confident that I've made that shift. That was not easy. I mean, because I think sometimes too, and you're the expert on this, when we have that idea, I think a lot of times we look at it as, I want to help everyone.
Yeah. You want to help everyone. You want to spread yourself thin. You want, like, and that's all part of ways for you to get out of it. Because if I go in and immediately get overwhelmed, what does that tell me? That wasn't for me, or I can't do it. But if you can niche down and start with a small niche. So one thing I found about niches, a lot of people will say niche down, niche down, niche down. And then you will actually have people that say, no, cast your net wide, right? But the thing with niching down, it's not a limitation. I work with female entrepreneurs, specifically moms, but I also work with dads. I'm not going to turn you away because you're a dad with an idea and I just happen to be the person that you understand and connect with. Not going to turn you away, but just understand when I'm talking to my audience, I'm going to say she and her. And I'm going to say, okay, moms, this is what we're doing today.
Mhm.
But other people will come. Your tribe is going to come. You can't have your niche be a limitation. It's really just the opposite. That's your key into the door.
Wow, that is so true. And I've often shared, where I was at, specifically my VA business, where I was working with legal professionals online and of course in my area. But when my son's accident happened and I started really questioning and kind of further really looking and directing to a shift that I didn't expect. But in the long run, long story short, I realized that, be my own entrepreneur, we know is an amazing thing. Like I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I was getting paid very well. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing what I love to do. I'm getting paid very well. But then I kind of looked at that because I asked myself some hard questions. And I think when we have to ask ourselves those hard questions, the truth or the limitation that we are trying to justify, really, I'm so glad that I niche down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's those hard questions that will actually take you to the next level. If you don't ever ask the hard questions, or if you're not ever asked by a coach or a mentor or someone that you have in your corner,
Mhm.
you stay stuck. Not like you already enjoyed your situation that you were in, but you couldn't level up. You couldn't go to the next great thing without asking yourself those hard questions, because most people are comfortable, especially if they're doing something they love and getting paid. Why
Mhm.
would I change that? Why would I want to veer off of that path?
Mhm.
So but it's the hard questions. When you go to the next level, no matter how scary it is, the prize is always greater. Might not be greater day one, but the prize is always greater.
The prize, I really think it is the key. And sometimes we don't know what that prize is.
Right. That's the scary part. And that's the part that will keep you in your complacency. Like,
Mm.
I
And I,
have this great idea. It might work, but then it might not work. Right. And it's that it might not work that is like, yeah, I'll stay where I am.
do you think it's when we get to that point, when we're asking those questions, like we're trying to justify those limiting beliefs? Well, I can't do this because I don't have enough time.
Yeah, because your brain is wired to keep you safe and keep you comfortable. So when you ask those hard questions, the first thing that's going to come up is, okay, how can I remain safe? How can everything stay calm, stay the way it is? Oh, that's right. I don't even have time to do that. So all the excuses and limitations come up first. But if you keep digging and picking at those limitations and breaking them down and understanding where that belief came from and why you actually think that, and it actually doesn't have any legs to support it, then it's like, oh, okay, next level, I can do this.
Hmm. And I just wrote down, where did it come from? And I think, again, it's going back to the fear we're justifying those limiting beliefs by coming up with what our perception is of that evidence to support that limiting belief. And of course, I'm using I don't have enough time as an example. And I often said to, and I've coached different clients through different things without realizing it at sometimes. But when we say we don't have enough time, okay, what is the typical thing we do, like starting, first thing in the morning when we get up? We tend to look at our devices.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be straight honest here, like straight up. I'm guilty of that, but I set a timer on my phone because it is a time.
Time sucker.
I was going to say that. I wasn't sure that is. Yes, it's a time sucker. Let's just be real here. It's a time sucker. And we get, what does Takia do? What is this one doing? Oh, look at this, look at that. And then before we know it, we've wasted an hour. Not saying that I've done and wasted an hour. I'm sure I have at some point, but now I realize that flaw. So, I've done this myself, especially, with getting back on track, especially with all my travels lately, to look, okay, where am I spending my time? Because if I'm saying I have no time, I have to be accountable to myself, be honest with myself. Oh, from 8:30 to 9:30, I was doing the old scroll thing. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore, or allow myself 10 minutes. So I'm looking really quick through things. What are some strategies that, not just female entrepreneurs, but, that any entrepreneur working from home can, really get their time on track, their time management?
So first things first is track your time. Like, we don't even notice how much time we're spending doing things, especially on our phone. They say the average person picks up their phone every 7 seconds or something crazy like that. And it's like, really? I hardly ever have my phone, but I know I used to be on my phone a lot. So one thing that I always start my clients with is tracking your time. I have this very simple time tracker. It's called Where's My Time? And you just fill in it's like a chart starting at 5 a.m. It goes from 5 a.m. to 4 a.m. And you put in how much sleep time you have. And I like colors. So I get colored pencils and color in the blocks for every day. How much time I slept. What time did I get up? What time did I eat? How much time do I spend driving? At one point, when my daughter first started traditional school, I was in my car 37 and a half hours a week.
Whoa.
Driving back and forth. So, for me, I'm like, oh my God, no wonder I don't have time to do anything. I'm always in the car. So even put your drive time in there. How much time is it taking you to cook your meals? How much time is it taking you to eat your meals? How much time does it take for you to put the baby down at bedtime or at nap time? If you track all of your time, you'll start to see where you're wasting time. You'll see where you have holes. You'll see how much time you're spending watching television. And then you can make an informed decision on actually where you have time. Where can I be more organized? If I'm on a schedule with this particular thing, then that frees up an extra hour in my day. If I spent 2 hours on Facebook today or Instagram or whatever, I know that that's time that I can redirect to something else. If I chop my social media time down to 20 minutes, or even if I spread it out and do 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening, because I know, being in business, a lot of times we market on social media. So you have to get on there at some point. But on Sundays, I don't do anything. So what if I write all my content on Sunday and
Mm.
schedule it with a scheduler, or take 30 minutes in the morning to do all my posting and then do all my follow-ups and everything in the evening. So it's all about knowing what you're doing with your time, looking at it, saying, okay, now I know where my starting point is. And I know the things that I need to get done. Maybe it won't take an hour for me to cook dinner if I meal prep on Sunday or Thursday or whenever, right? So meal plan, meal prep. It shouldn't take you 4 hours in a grocery store. It just should. Make a plan and follow the plan. Make a list. It's the really simple things that we let get out of control. And now all of a sudden, I don't have time and I'm just extremely tired.
And I think the simple things we often complicate.
Yeah, definitely. It's the most simple things that we spend the most time on and the most energy on. And the main thing is being able to maintain your energy and take advantage of every bit of energy that you have, especially as a mom, because you're getting pulled in so many different directions
Oh,
all the time.
yeah.
You need all your energy.
Yes, yes, that is so true. I go back to one of the times when I was traveling back from Philly, where my son lives, back to Connecticut, and haven't been sleeping that well. And as I'm driving, the alerts are going off. And I thought this was really interesting. I stopped at the rest stop, and I was kind of tense. And it occurred to me that every time an alert goes off, I was feeling more and more tense.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that I noticed that. So, I went through, okay, what do I have, that I'm allowing to send me alerts? And I turned off as much as I could at that point. But, maybe, and although that sounds simple, like, I think we don't all give ourselves hey, that was a great idea. Like, I noticed, and it doesn't have to be specific to alerts, but when you notice something, kind of redirects your attention to say, okay, this certain thing from 10:30 to 11:30 is driving me nuts. Well, why is it driving you nuts? Like, to keep asking the why.
Mhm.
Why is this bothering me? Why do I feel tense when I receive alerts? So that can be a good thing.
Right. It's definitely a good thing because the key to progression is awareness.
Mhm.
In order for you to grow, you have to gain an awareness, and the perfect way to become more aware of your life is meditation, and being still. But when you're aware of what's going on, that's when you can make a change. What's the 12-step program? Step
Mhm.
one is admit that you are an addict. In order to admit that you're an addict, you have to see the signs that point to the fact that you're an addict. So it's the same thing with everything in life. First, you have to recognize the signs. So when you reach that point of awareness, like you said, it's like, oh, this is actually bothering me. It's just like when you realize that a person is bothering you. It's like, you are actually getting on my nerves right now.
Uh, yes, you know what? That is so true. So, and in relationship to what you just said there, it's okay to maybe, like, if something or someone, for instance, is popping up in your feed and it's not information that adds value to your life, it's okay to, I think you can still snooze people for 30 days or whatever it is.
Yeah. Or you can just unfollow them.
Mm.
I unfollow with absolute peace.
I
And
love
I
how you,
know other people that are like, oh, I hate social media. There's so much drama, so much negativity. Really? I don't see any of that, because as soon as someone shows up in my feed with something that doesn't add value to my life, oh yeah, let me unfollow this person. I don't know how they got here. Unfollow, unfollow. And it doesn't hurt me any. Doesn't hurt them, but it definitely doesn't hurt me. So I'm gonna continue to unfollow and carry on.
And that is really important. Like you made a decision as to um your awareness to that, like you said, and it's okay to do that. Like we don't need to further justify that. We remedy the situation right then and there.
Hmm. Yeah. And there's no, like, a lot of times people are afraid to unfollow people because maybe that could be a potential customer. It
Mhm.
could, but that doesn't have anything to do with you unfollowing them. They can still follow you and still receive value from you, but you don't have to take in what they're putting out. That's like a lot of people will say, don't watch television and don't read the newspaper. Listen, you're in charge of what you consume.
Mhm.
So if you want to watch TV, choose TV that's going to add value to your life. If you're going to read books and magazines or whatever, choose things that will add value. And adding joy to your life adds value. Um, a while ago, right after I had my son, I dealt with postpartum depression. And one thing I know from my whole life, I like
Mhm.
to actually read magazines. So during that time, I would watch feel good movies
Mhm.
and I would read Real Simple, that magazine, and I would catch myself laughing out loud because that magazine was adding value to my life, helping pull me out of a situation I didn't want to be in. So you have to be careful listening to what the gurus say as far as what you should and shouldn't do. The first guru you listen to is your own intuition. And if your body says it's time to pause, read a magazine instead of some self help book or um, a textbook or something on marketing, then pause and give your brain a break to read read a joke book or go play with your kids or just go outside. Your body knows, your brain knows. Okay, your God self leads you in the right direction every time.
And that is so true, but it's so important to realize that. And, just as you were describing that, like you picked up on that and you fed your soul with reading the magazine and taking that time out for yourself because it's okay. We all need that.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where you have to find that harmony in being a real person and being a mom and being a business owner and being a wife and a short order cook and a taxi driver and all the things. You have to find harmony in it, but you also have to realize you're human. AI can only do but so much.
Yeah, and as you were, saying that, going back to the planning the meals thing, we both know someone who's like an expert at that. I just marvel at that. Like she is amazing. And I'm like, okay, hello fresh.
I've done Hello Fresh and Blue Apron and all the things.
Yes, and I recognize that and I applaud myself because of course sometimes during the week I'm doing back-to-back podcasts or maybe sometimes two podcasts in a day and my zone of genius has to be focused. So the last thing of course that I need to worry about is, oh, what am I going to make for dinner? Hello Fresh for me is just very handy. And by the way, if someone needs a meal planner, we know someone who's perfect at that. But back back
Yeah.
to the conversation at hand, though, you know, I'm wondering, some of the female service providers that come to you, where generally are they in, and maybe this is too broad of a question, but where generally are they in their journey when they start working with you?
So right now I'm working with women on two different levels. So most of the women I work with are within those first 3 years. They're just starting out, or they have an idea that they need help bringing into fruition. Or um, like one of my clients now, she's been in business for like 8 years now, but she's ready to take her business to the next level and add a whole new element to it. So now we're working through that. So um very beginning, or in a transition stage where you feel like you've plateaued and it's time to start anew within your existing journey.
When you say next level, again, I'm kind of thinking back to my own journey where I was like in my specifically my VA business, like,
Mhm.
okay, this is great. It's not that I wasn't feeling it, it's that I knew I was capable of more. And sometimes that more takes a little bit more of in-depth soul searching and, taking it to the next level. Well, what does that mean for my business? What does that mean for me going forward in my journey? And excuse me, going back to the tough questions again, those were some tough questions that I, really needed to be brutally honest with myself. What am I good at? What am I not so good at?
Right. So that's where I come in. Because everybody's next level is different.
Mhm.
Some people's next level is, I just feel like I need to make more money. And some people, they just know there's a next level because I'm feeling stuck. I feel like I've reached my ceiling, but I know there's more out there for me. So for I'm a master life coach. So it's all about you and building your business around you. So now let's talk about, like you said, what are you good at? What parts of your business are really thriving? What parts of your business bring you joy? What um what are the ideas that you have? What are the areas of improvement within your business? And not just your business, but let's really dive into you. And if you don't know where you want to go, let's figure out what it is that you want to do next. If you do know, what's the difference between then and, well, that point and where you are now? Who do you need to be? That's the main question. Who do you need to be to reach this next level? Because you can do all the things all day long. But if you're still the same person that's in the today level, no matter what you do, you're going to stay at the today level because you're still the same person. And your results don't come from what you do, they come from who you are. Be, do, have, in
Hmm.
that order all the time, period.
Say that again.
Be, do, have, in that order.
To and have in that order. You heard it from Takia. Be, have.
Yes, first you have to be the person that achieves the goal, and that person does the things that it takes. And the direct result of doing the things as that person is that you'll have the result. So first, you have to be the person. You have to actually embrace who that person is. You have to think differently. You have to believe differently and feel differently so that you'll do things according to what you now think and believe.
Ah, some people may hear that and may think, how do I say this? Be, to, and have. To be the or to think, believe, and feel. But we're not talking about fake it till you make it. You have to wholeheartedly grasp at that this is who you are. You
Right.
feel it with your heart, with your soul, then you know you can help other people. And it's standing on that firm foundation.
Right. And sometimes the whole fake it till you make it thing, it's very surface, right? You can
Mhm.
only fake but so much. Now, faking it will give you some ideas on what it is that you actually want, but it's not going to change what you believe. And it's those different beliefs and breaking down the limits and actually knowing something different. So there's actually a difference between believing and knowing.
Mhm.
So you can believe that something is possible, but it's not really possible until you know that it's possible. When you know something, then you operate differently. Excuse me. When you're just walking around like, yes, I I can make $20,000 a month. I can. I have a great business and people come to me and, you know, as long as I just keep doing what I'm doing, okay, sure, you'll get to $20,000 a month in 20 years. But when you know that $20,000 a month that's what you make, maybe not today, but maybe next year, I'm a $20,000 a month earner, period. So every day that I get up as a $20,000 earner, these are the things that I do. I already understand what's required of me. I already understand that I don't have time for the frivolous things that used to waste my time before, because I'm already that person. The
Mhm.
only reason my bank account doesn't say that, or my Stripe account isn't dinging at $20,000 a month yet, is because things are lining up to match the frequency that I'm on. I'm on the 20K a month frequency. And other things, I don't, sometimes I like to call it magic, but but things are moving outside of your control. But in order for you to operate as that 20K a month earner and things happen quickly, you have to completely be in alignment with your God self, so that when your God self says, hey, move left, you don't hesitate, you don't think about it, you don't come up with excuses, you just move left. The only thing that keeps that goal that you have from being achieved instantly is your hesitation and your disbelief and your not knowing that it's already there for you. What's yours is yours, period. But we don't believe that. We've been trained to not believe that things can happen instantly. We've been trained that everything is a long process. We've been trained that you can't come out the gate making $20,000 a month. Says who? If my intuition and my belief system is in alignment with 20K a month, and this is the business that I received, that I'm going to, that, God gave me this idea, I'm taking action on it right now. And I know that this is a $20,000 a month idea. God said, move left, I move left. He says, all right, now go 3 steps and touch your toes. And I go 3 steps and touch my toes. And next thing you know, this person that I never met before, all of a sudden started following me on Instagram, and they are best friends with this billionaire that instantly just was like, oh yeah, I need such and such. And this person says, I just started following somebody on Instagram that does exactly that. Okay. Somehow that person gives your contact information to their friend. They call you up, you say, well, it's going to cost $20,000 a month, or, $120,000 for the next 6 months. And they're like, oh, that's nothing. What did you do? How much work did you have to do? And how much time did that take for some random person to find you on Instagram? It didn't even have to be a recent post. It might be a post that you did 6 months ago. But you commented on a friend's thing and they were like, oh, her name looks interesting. That looks like somebody I know. Then they click and they're like, oh, that's somebody different. Oh, wow. Look what they do. Hey, friend, I just saw this. That took all of a minute for you to make $20,000. But in the process, you had that knowing already in you. I know that was all around the bush, but I hope y'all follow me.
Oh, that was great, because what I want to say is I'll have what she's having. But that is so true. You don't know who you may affect, or who may see a post from 6 months ago, as you mentioned. It's about taking that step to show up consistently. And, part of that, of course, as we kind of touched upon, was through, social media. They found you and they're like, okay, here you are. Again, I think back to my journey, and when my son's accident happened, I was about a week away from hitting my first 5-figure month. Now I think back to that and like, holy crap. But I was in that position where I was owning who I was. I was owning my capabilities. I know what I'm damn good at. I know what I am not good at. I can't do funnels. I understand the concept of a funnel, and I'm sure I've talked about this before, and I'm snickering at myself. But that's something I would like to learn how to do. But if you come to me to do funnels for you, I would honestly say I'm not your person, and kind of guide you in the right direction.
There's too many people out here that are amazing at funnels for you to be worried about the fact that you're not.
Exactly. In fact, I've hired out to do
Exactly
my funnel.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt good.
Yes, but you see how we can take that one simple thing and completely complicate it and stop everything because I can't figure out this funnel thing. I don't know how to put a funnel together. I can't get leads to save my life. Why are you spending so much time worrying about something that you can't do? Just hire somebody. Oh, now I gotta spend money that I'm not making enough money to hire somebody. But if you hire somebody and you get more leads and more sales, then you have more money to pay somebody to do the job. Again, be, do, have. Be the person that hires an assistant or a funnel manager or whatever. Be the person that gets these sales first. First, be that person. That person hires somebody to do what they can't do. And the result of that, what you have after that, is more sales. But you can't be the person that's afraid to spend money and still have the result that comes from hiring somebody that can pick up where you slack.
That is so true. Takia, do you have time to, and by the way, I want to welcome, of course, all of our amazing listeners currently on the Wisdom audio app. And I see some familiar names. So thank you so much for being here today. I love the Wisdom app. Connected with so many amazing people through there. Do you have time to maybe take a quick question from someone who may want to come up on Wisdom? Is that okay with you?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, Wisdom, would like to invite one of you. We have time for one person to come up on stage. And if you'd like to contribute to the conversation, or you have some questions for Takia, we would love to invite you up. Excuse me. As we are waiting for someone to hopefully come up on stage, can you let us know where our listeners and viewers can connect with you further?
So I'm on Facebook, Takia Hansley. And I'm also on Instagram a little bit, but I am on Instagram at Your Reality Shifter. But
Mm,
I'm on Facebook on my personal page and my business page. My personal page is probably easiest to reach me. But
okay.
Takia, and if you search hashtag reality shifter, you'll find me on either platform.
Okay, that's good to know. And of course, I will make sure all that information, excuse me, gets in the show notes. Takia, just a real kind of general question. As you started your journey, especially as an entrepreneur, what were one of the hurdles that you overcame to kind of clear your limiting beliefs?
Hmm. Let's see. Actually, I'll tell you two things. In the beginning of my journey, it was when I first got into business, I really just wanted something to do. I was a new mom and I needed to talk about something other than my baby. So,
Uh,
but at that time in a new city, it was, I don't, I don't know anybody.
mhm,
I'm not going to be able to make any money. And it really, to get over that, it was really just asking myself, do you want to do it or not?
mhm,
So I'm not a very fearful person in general. I'm a person, and I've always been, if I have an idea, I'm gonna go. Like I'm a person that will build a business over the weekend. Okay, I've just always been that way. So but at that time, I was in a new city, just moved to Baltimore from Greensboro, North Carolina. So I was like, I don't know these people, and you're talking about going into people's houses. This might be a little sketchy, but it was, do you want to do it or not? Right? Like
mhm,
that's all it was. Do you want to do it or not? You can stay the same and
mhm.
spend all day, every day in the house because I was a housewife, stay at home mom. You stay the same or you can do something different. I chose to do something different. And right now, I'm on the cusp of doing something different. I had this amazing idea um, to do some partnerships with schools. And I was like, oh, wow. And I had been working on this for a couple of months, but yesterday in the shower, excellent thinking place.
Mhm.
But I was like, you really could just focus on this and let this be your full-time thing. And immediately it started coming in my mind, but no, that's not what you do. You you help individuals. Like that's can you do that? Are you actually qualified talk talk to school systems? Like, is that in your wheelhouse? Don't you need to get another certification first? Don't you need to like all of these things came up? And then I was like, oh, look at resistance. You know?
Oh my God, I love how you said that. Oh, look at resistance.
Yeah. And again, it's that awareness. Being aware that every time you get ready to go on to something great, resistance is going to come up. So I'm like, oh, look at resistance. So let's walk this thing backwards. Are you qualified? Yes, you're qualified. Well, what are your qualifications? Well, I know something they don't know. you know, do you have any proof? Do you have any evidence? I'm sure I'm not the first person that's done it. So if I need to go find the proof and the evidence, I can. The internet is worldwide. So talking myself back, because first we have all these questions, right? All
Mhm.
these doubts, all these fears. So now I just talk myself right through all of them now. And then it's like, what's next? You got anything else? Because I'm ready, right? but you have to be at a certain level with yourself, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it's not my coaching qualifications and my bajillion certifications and all that that gets me to that level. It's the level of me knowing myself and knowing who I am and knowing my past patterns, right? And knowing how I tend to operate.
Mm.
I tend to, something come up, questions come. And the main thing is, are you qualified? Are you good enough for that? Yes, I am. Actually, if I wasn't good enough, I would have never had the thought. So that God wouldn't have given me an idea if it wasn't for me. So it's like, what are you doing right now?
Mhm.
Next question. Oh, okay. Yep, got that too. So it's all the knowing that, yeah. Thank you.
Definitely
I
in the
appreciate
knowing.
resistance. Yeah, I appreciate you, resistance, because that resistance was my confirmation that I'm on the right path.
Mhm.
And that thought triggered that resistance. So you have to be able to identify your triggers. Oh,
Right.
okay. Yeah.
Wow. I love how you said that with such depth, such enthusiasm, and owning it. Like, thank you, resistance. And that, in and of itself, sometimes we do need to walk ourselves through something. And, thank you so much for sharing that in such a meaningful way where really we can take those strategies and really apply them to where we are in our business, whether you are a beginner or whether you are in that process of leveling up. This has been such an amazing time with you. I am just so grateful that you took time today to be on the Truly Your VA podcast. I am forever grateful. And I hope that you definitely will consider coming back to join us soon.
Thank you for having me. I would love to come again. This has been a great experience, and I love your energy. And I'm here for it. Just let me know. I will put you on my calendar.
That sounds great. Of course. And on that note, again, I want to thank all of our amazing listeners. I want to thank my viewers and listeners who really have reached out over the course of the last year and a half. I love what I do. Takia loves what she does. Things are possible. We just have to be, to,
Be
and have.
do.
Oh, I missed one.
It's be do have.
Oh, my apologies. I see I got that wrong. Thank you for correcting me. Be,
Got it.
do, and have.
Yes.
And on
In
that,
that
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
in that order.
In that order, don't forget it. I'm going to say it once again before we sign off. Be, do, have. I think I got it right.
Yes.
Awesome. My name is Janis Malillo, the host of Truly Your VA with Janis. Remember, if you have an expertise that you'd like to share, or you're just starting your business and you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, feel free to go to my website, Truly Your VA, and fill out the guest registration. And I would love to feature you as a guest speaker. Once again, thank you all so much. Have a great day, and we will see you again very soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Janice.
You're welcome, Takia. Thank you so much.